Hello. A friend of mine, in response to our work on the modes of the C major scale, asked me about fingering. And as I've been working on it, I have developed a simplified fingering version, simpler than what I was doing when I presented it in our lessons last week. But I realized that the fingering, especially if you attempt to simplify it, that we have for the modes requires that we understand not only the diatonic scale, but most importantly, the chromatic scale. Now, fortunately, Carulli gives us absolutely explicit, easy to understand instructions as far as the fingering goes for the chromatic scale. And that presentation of his is here at the blog. Please do take a look at that, as well as the essay that I've written, a fairly small essay, about the history of the chromatic scale and its relationship, of all things, to the number 0. But like I said, look at the essay for that. I'm not going to talk about those right now. Right now, we're just going to focus on the natural fingering structure that Carulli teaches us, as well as something that I believe is implied that I've derived from his teachings. So, what we've got in the first position, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 frets here, an open string, the 4 frets, and then a slide up to the 5th fret to complete the first position. That ends up in forming, and this is what I'm saying I've derived, a closed first position as opposed to an open one. But let me not confuse you with terms. Let's just lay down what Carulli gives us himself directly first, then we'll talk about a couple of more things that I've derived as I just indicated. So the first thing that he gives us as to the chromatic scale is a 1 finger to 1 fret relationship going straight up, starting out on the bottom, which is the E note on the open 6th string. So that's open. Now we push our first finger down on the 1st fret, F. Oh, one more point. In the chromatic scale, we're going to be using sharps as we ascend and flats as we descend. And that, again, is exactly what Carulli indicates, and it's a very simple and straightforward way to go about mastering them. So here we go again. So E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then A. Note that each fret gets its own name in the ascending mode with sharps, and each fret has just 1 finger that we're using, and you're going to see that as we continue on, we're going to do that continuously with the exception, well, you'll see. So, again, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, or E open, F first finger on the 1st fret, F sharp 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, G 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, G sharp 4th finger on the 4th fret, I'm sure you're getting the pattern here, and then open A. Now just continue on. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Now, a point does have to be made about history here that I do explain a little bit more in my essay. It's actually not written yet, but I will write it soon. At any rate, that I will explain in the essay is that the chromatic scale, especially the way we have it with the divisions of the octave into 12 equal steps, which are called equal tempered tuning, that only dates back to the 17th century, so it's only about 400 years old. As such, it's the very latest arrival on the music theory scene. And so, why am I sharing that right now, and why will I be writing the essay about it? Because the structure I just showed you, is completely arbitrary. That means we came up with names for this stuff that don't really have a completely solid, well-integrated structure logically. You cannot logically defend in a theoretical way the way we're naming this, and there are all different kinds of ways to name it, and that's a huge part of what theory is all about. It's all these different methods of naming, so it's very confusing. Well, that confusion is something that I've discovered you have to accept at a certain level. Now myself, I had to kind of like resolve it. I had to come up with my own way of dealing with it before I could really accept it. But I'm hoping you'll take my word that I've actually done that work, that I really have some sense of what the logical issues are, and so that this arbitrary structure, arbitrary, remember here we went A sharp, B, C, where there was no sharp between the B and the C, again here with D, D sharp, E, F, and there's no sharp between the E and the F. Those are the two that are called half steps. I've mentioned how many times now I don't like the term half steps. It's for this historical, logical reason that it's very confusing. Nonetheless, those are our sharp structures on the way up. Now we're going to go flats on the way down. So we start out with A up here, then we slide down to A flat. Remember this was G and G sharp, and then A on the way up. Now it's A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E. Note that in music theory we have this word enharmonic. So the fact that this is either an F sharp up here, first string, second fret, either an F sharp or a G flat, it's two different ways to say the name of the exact same note. Well, this enharmonic structure is something you do have to be comfortable with, and again, fortunately, in the exercise that you'll see from Carulli, he lays this out with crystal clarity. So it's very, very simple in actuality if you simply accept the names in these two different ways, sharps and flats. We'll be talking about more ways to divide up these names in the future. Now we've got it, so that was the open first position with the that ends up here on this beautiful A note up on the 5th fret of the E string or the first string on top. Well, as I practice that up and down, I realized that I got a little bit more comfortable here, but it was not an easy slide for me. So I did that a lot, but then I realized the entire position can be closed off. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. And we come to the A sharp here. See, this is the open A, here's the A sharp, well here's the closed A. And then we come to the A sharp here. B, C, C sharp, D. So that's the closed D, here's the open D. D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. G sharp, A sharp, B, C, because we have on our 4th string only those notes. Here's the C, the closed C, if you will, on the 4th string, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and we'll go down using flats, of course. So A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B flat, closed A flat, G, G flat, F, E. Now let me just do both for you in a kind of smooth flow if I can, to the best of my ability. So that was the open first position. And now I'm going to do the closed first position for you. Hey, that wasn't too bad. All right, last point to make. When you're working on the closed one, the key is going to be in the transitions, both up and down. So here's the A. Now we're on the F. We have to come up to that E on the 5th fret. On this one here, we've got our C on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. We come to the B here. Note, remember that the B is on the 4th fret, unlike all the others. The closed B is on the 4th. There's the open B. There is just one other way we can work on this closed position. Instead of using the C here on the 1st fret, we can use the C on the 5th fret of the 4th string. That looks like this. Here's our C sharp, D flat there, since we're going down. C. And let me just close out for today with just doing that one more time, and this time I'll use my closed C up here on the 5th fret of the 3rd string. I think there might have been some mistakes in there. I have to slow down, go over that, and work on it. Nonetheless, those fingerings for the left hand are going to open up your decision making when it comes to all the different options. Tomorrow, when we work on this one more time, we're going to talk about melodic playing as opposed to harmonic, which has to do with chords, and how we need to focus on melodic first before we start to invest in the far more difficult chords. But like I said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. As always, thanks for watching.